Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're diving into some really significant changes coming to our democracy announced by the Labour government. On Thursday the 17th of July, the Labour government unveiled their new strategy to strengthen democracy and reform our electoral system. The headline? Plans to lower the UK's voting age to 16 before the next general election. This is a massive shift, the biggest expansion of the voting franchise in over half a century. But it's not just about votes at 16. We'll also get into how Labour is also looking at changes to voter ID laws, political party funding, and a whole lot more, all wrapped up in a forthcoming elections and democracy bill. So in this video, we're going to break down their plan and explain what it all means. So, let's get started. Now let's jump straight in with that big one, the voting age. The plan is to lower it from 18 to 16, which means about 1.5 million 16 and 17 year olds across the UK will be eligible to vote in the next general election. They'll even be able to register from 14, giving them plenty of time to get ready. The minimum age to stand as a candidate will remain at 18. It's important to remember that 16 and 17 year olds can already vote in Scotland and Wales for local and devolved elections. This change aims to bring consistency across all UK elections. And here's where I want to be very clear. This isn't a new idea. The Liberal Democrats have been campaigning for votes at 16 for many years. It's been a core part of our manifestos, including at the last general election in 2024. Because we fundamentally believe that if you're old enough to work, pay tax and join the military, you're old enough to have a say in your future. So while it's great to see Labour finally catching up on this, it's testament to the persistent campaigning of the Liberal Democrats and other progressive parties that this issue is now finally on the table. Of course, not everyone agrees. Reform UK and the Conservatives still oppose it, questioning why 16-year-olds should vote when they can't, for example, buy a drink. But for us, it's all about empowerment and ensuring that young people whose futures are most impacted by our political decisions have a voice. Moving beyond votes at 16, the government also plans to work on an automated voter registration system over the next couple of years. This is crucial because before the last election, the Electoral Commission estimated that up to 7 million people were either incorrectly registered or missing from the register entirely, often disproportionately affecting young people, students, and those who have recently moved. Making it easier to register is just plain common sense for a healthy democracy. They're also committed to expanding valid forms of voter ID, which was a requirement introduced by the previous Conservative government. The new plans would include UK-issued bank cards, as long as they show your name, and facilitate digital voter ID. And to ease the strain on local authorities, the deadline for postal vote applications will move from 11 to 14 working days before polling day. Again, practical steps that we Liberal Democrats have consistently advocated for to make our electoral system more accessible and efficient. Another key area of the government's plan is to change the rules around political donations. There are two main goals here: preventing foreign interference and stopping parties from gaming the system. Labour calls this creating a know your donor culture, making funding more transparent and closing loopholes. This includes tackling shell companies, those without real business operations that could be used to funnel illegitimate funding. The government will now require companies to have generated sufficient income in the UK or Ireland to be able to donate. They also want to close a loophole relating to unincorporated associations, which currently only have to disclose funding above a high threshold of £37,000. Labour proposes significantly reducing this to around £11,000 per year and requiring a named person on the public register. These are crucial steps towards cleaning up our policies. Again, something the Liberal Democrats have long championed in our calls for greater transparency in political funding. Furthermore, the government aims to increase the Electoral Commission's powers, raising the maximum fine for breaches of political finance rules from a mere £20,000 to a whopping £500,000 per offence. This is designed to be a meaningful deterrent against serious violations, which is absolutely vital. In terms of digital campaigning, Unregistered third-party campaigners, groups who aren't fielding candidates but spending under £10,000, will now be required to include an imprint on their digital material. It's the same small print you would see on a printed leaflet. This means stating who is responsible for publishing it. So more transparency online is always a good thing. Finally, the government is addressing rising abhorrent behaviours like intimidation and harassment directed at candidates, campaigners and electoral staff. There has been a marked increase in recent years of this behaviour, and we'll be taking a look at this ourselves in more detail in the future. Labour's plans also include a Defending Democracy Taskforce, removing the requirement for candidates' addresses to be published to protect their privacy, and extending 5-year bans on standing or holding office to include offences against electoral staff. They'll also require candidates to prove their identity and introduce penalties for lying on nomination forms, which sounds like a sensible move to prevent fake or AI candidates. So there you have it. While these plans still need to go through Parliament, giving 16-year-olds the right to vote is a major shake-up and the culmination of a long, important debate. It's a debate that the Liberal Democrats have been at the forefront of for a very long time, consistently pushing for a fairer, more open and more democratic Britain. We believe these reforms are steps towards a more robust and representative democracy where every vote truly counts and every voice can be heard. As Liberal Democrats, we'll continue to scrutinise these proposals and champion further reforms to empower citizens and strengthen our democratic institutions. So, what do you think? Let us know in the comments below or on our social media channels, and if you've enjoyed this video, give it a big old thumbs up and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our future updates and content. Thanks for watching.